5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. Now, here's Tom Silverstein.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. Coincidentally, there are 5 games in, so I could ask you a question about each game, but we've already talked about 4 of them. So let's go right into the Rams game. We might as well address the elephant in the room, which was that the Packers came into that game shorthanded, as did the Rams. You talk about the Rams missing their top 2 receivers, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. And then I was thinking, well, the Packers were missing their top 2 receivers. No. We got to call Jaden Reed their top receiver now, right? I mean, he is clearly their best receiver right
11
now, right?
is special. He's special because I think he's one of the first guys in NFL history with like 400 yards and 100 yards rushing, something like that. I'm not one of the analytics guys, but I just remember turning in the card for 2 people, okay? Because they had me turn in the card for Jarrell Worthy. That didn't work out very well. And the receiver, another receiver that we had. But this time, shout out to Gutekunst and Mark Murphy. This time I turned in Jaden Reed. And if you go back when I took the card up there, I said, we got Jordan Love, we got some help for you. Because we always get great receivers in the second round.
That's true.
And, you know, with Devontae, of course, and with Jordy
Nelson, Greg Jennings.
Greg Jennings, I mean, now him, he's just a special person. And he's the kind of guy in an offense, Tom. This offense with Matt LaFleur moves more than anybody. They're moving, and it confuses people. It really does confuse his defense. I'll say that many times, that if you move one guy, the defense has to go from strong to weak. Sometimes you don't need but one guy to get confused. But he seems like the guy that, so anytime he's moving and the ball's in his hands, I'm excited.
He has such a, I guess you'd say it's a full plate because they ask him to motion constantly.
All the time.
He has to remember all those motions. He has to remember the running plays. You know, he has to remember all the route adjustments. Very intelligent player and very talented.
And he's the punt returner.
That's right. You're right. So
and he blocks.
He does whatever you want. And he fires up the rest of the team. He's like pretty intense player. You know?
That's a great point. I think they like him because he's so even-keeled, and they just follow him. And the other guy, name I turned in was Tucker Kraft. These are young guys who you draft in important positions that are playing huge roles in their second year, and it's just paying off for this offense.
Tucker Kraft is turning out to be the second best tight end in that draft, and he wasn't even like in the top 5 or 6. Sam Laporta is probably easily the best. I mean, he's just been terrific since day one.
Unbelievable.
But Dalton Kincaid was taken in the first round. He's not even close to Tucker Kraft's numbers. Musgrave, of course, hasn't matched those numbers. Michael Mayer from Notre Dame, he hasn't. So they got a steal in Kraft. There's no question.
And he's not even 100%, but the guy is a lot faster than you think. He's stronger than you think. I mean,
he's a tight end's tight end. He likes to block.
He's a George Kittle type.
He's like Kittle. He's, even Kelsey. He's not quite that type of a receiver, but he wants to mix it up.
And I think the thing about it is the plays, the screenplay, knowing when to block and when to sell it, and knowing to get over in these areas that are opened up by guys running through. And LaFleur loves tight ends. I mean, even with Big Ben, and they love
all those West Coast guys love tight ends.
Tight ends, because tight ends is like the best of both worlds. You can get a receiver, and you can block, and you can run the ball. But 85 does it all. I'm so happy for his growth already.
Okay, so I mentioned the elephant in the room, and the elephant in the room is Romeo Doubs. And they, it was really could have been kind of disastrous for him to get suspended the week of this game because Reed and Kraft came through for them,
Yeah.
but, that was a lot of pressure on the other guys.
Yes.
And there's no question they are trying to get Dontavian Wicks started. They think a lot of him.
So do I.
Yeah, and I do too.
I love
He's
him,
been
man.
one of my guys. I've been on his bandwagon since the day he got here.
Yeah.
But I do wonder, the report was that Romeo Doubs is not happy with his role and confirmed that. I think if I had to guess, some of that would be the attention that Dontavian Wicks is getting. How do you handle that? I mean, he handled it the wrong way. He decided not to show up for practice. They suspended him for conduct detrimental to the team. I don't know. If you must have had, do you ever have a situation where you weren't playing enough? You didn't start as a rookie. Did that bother you?
Not at all. No, because here's the thing. The coaches, to me, are smarter than me. I never thought I was smarter than my coaches, because when I go by 1265.
I know a quarterback who doesn't feel that way, but anyway, that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, I agree with you. Most quarterbacks think they're smarter, and they're not. The coaches are smarter. Here's why. Because coaches, to me, are like teachers, and my teachers are my heroes. But as I'm driving on the way to the club, I see the light on. Coaches are working away from their families. So when they gave me a game plan, I was good enough to make it work. But to me, Christmas is every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. Here comes Holmgren, meet with all the team. He'll say his little spiel or whatever, and we break up. So we go in with Fritz Shermer. I'm excited because I can't wait to see the game plan.
Yeah.
And sometimes it didn't have 36 involved. I mean, a lot of cover 2, cover 4, and not any action. What I did was I went and asked Lee Rimmel, how do I handle that? I want to play a little tutor. He said, just go talk to him. Just go. So I went down there in his office. I said, you know what? I want to do this. I want to do that. And he took his glasses off and he wiped his face. He was laughing. He's like, okay. Next thing you know, I did it. No one knew anything. Because I didn't want it to feel like...
I'm going to correct your selective memory here a little bit
this
because
is my story.
I recall writing a couple of stories
you leaked it.
where you complained about not being blitzed enough.
Oh, no, I'm asking a question.
And
but
I can remember
who
took the heat. I took the heat from Fritz telling me how to use your safety.
That's right.
But ultimately then he used you the way he wanted to use you.
But whatever works.
But you didn't quit on the team.
No, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, the analytics don't prove out. He's the second most targeted receiver.
Right.
Wicks had 13 targets, he had 8. And so, but I never was like jealous of another, not jealous, but envious of another guy, or it was just me. So my thing was, I'm gonna be a team player all the time, but it's nothing wrong with, and we love Romeo, but I'm gonna say this and we'll move on. This coaching staff and front office, you can say if I'm biased, fine. I've talked to a lot of people over years and years and years. The most player-friendly ever. He can go to Matt, he can go to number 10, he can go anywhere and says, can we do this, this, and this? And they'll fix it for him. Or he can go right to the Gutekunst, go to Murphy, keep it in-house, but not to go. That's where the locker room is fractured in a way, because you're thinking, okay, we went through this with Jair. But the reason why I'm proud of my nephew Jair, he fixed it.
He did.
And he's a perfect
At least
guy.
All indications are that he has turned that part around. Yep.
So you have to, because when a guy feels like, you're not there with me, it could be an issue. And he's the best 50-50 catch receiver you have.
Yeah.
To go up and to catch it with a guy on him.
Right.
So I just want Romeo to just figure it out. I'm sure tomorrow when y'all ask him about it, he'll get a chance to say his side.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how he handles that, because that is a key. And I'll tell you another key is, how does he handle it with the receiver room? Now, I asked those guys after the game, I'm like, what does he have to do? What does he have to say? I got a no comments. I got a, I'm praying for him. We'll be here for him. I got a, I don't know. I don't know what he needs to do. You know, we'll see. And then another, you know, unequivocal, we love him. We'll take, he'll come back. But there's a reality to that they're not necessarily saying to me, what is that reality? What does he have to do does he have to do anything to the receivers in that room?
Great question. I remember we were going to play Minnesota, first game. We're in a team meeting, and we're in a team meeting. Sterling Sharp gets up. Sterling Sharp, our best receiver, all-pro, gets up on a Saturday night and said, basically, they better get my contract done or I'm not playing. We play tomorrow.
I think it was actually earlier in the week.
Yeah.
And he told you guys going into that, if I recall. So,
like, what they got to do with the team?
Right.
You know, two things could be true. You can get your money, but you can't do this to the locker room.
Right.
So we heard little buzzes about it, but when he got up and said it, I looked at Brett. I'm like, well, they did something to his contract because he played.
That's right.
And then he bragged about it. I guess that's the leverage you have when you're all pro. But I think a lot of guys in the locker room lost respect for him.
Yeah.
Because he never said, you know what, I was wrong for doing that. You know, I apologize for never. He just went on with his thing. And that's kind of how Sterling was. That was the persona. I'm the guy. You can't win without me. And sometimes quarterbacks be like that. Sometimes receivers be like that. But what Romeo has to do is realize that it's 50-some other guys on that team. Football is the ultimate team sport. That's why I love it, because I'm, you know, special needs kid growing up. But it's the ultimate team sport. So you got to think about the name on the back of the jersey as well as the front. Yeah. But if I was him, I would just tell the guys, hey, man, this my bad, and keep it moving. Because we all have faults.
Yeah, and everything, you know, LaFleur said he'll be back on Wednesday.
Yep.
And then it's up to him. It's, you know, how hard does he work? Now, you know, this situation happened, I can't remember what year it was, but with Mike McKenzie, remember the cornerback, Mike McKenzie?
Yep.
And he basically just kind of quit on the team, and they had to trade him.
Yeah.
You know, at some point, he was just saying he was hurt all the time, and they eventually just traded him. Javon Walker, same thing. Remember, he was just not happy. And
what about Josh Jones? Was it Josh Jones, the safety? A few years ago?
Yeah, something. Well, he got mad because I think
he said, "I'm not going to play it. Y'all got to trade me or something."
Yeah, something.
Man.
Right.
I don't understand.
Anyway, if Doubs doesn't come around, then they have to think about that. But I guess that's a little premature now. We'll see what happens this coming week. Anyway, if they can get him back with his head right, and they can get Christian Watson back, that's going to be big for Jordan Love. So what's been your impression of Jordan Love? What did you see on Sunday?
Well, I think nephew got a lot going on in his head. He tried to do too much. Because I think I missed 2 games, now I got to make it up. Because some of the throws to Jordan Love the second half of the year wouldn't have thrown these balls. Like the one State 2 for X and O's, the one that Jaden Reed caught, and he said he shouldn't have thrown it. And then the interception, you know, to just kind of was trying to throw it away. It was a pick 6. So he's at 5 interceptions? I think he had 8 all last year. So he just had to go through and say, nope, my big plays will come. And this offense, it'll open up. it'll open up. So it'll be guys open, but yeah, I can't turn the ball over. So right now, because he's getting fooled by coverages, he knows better. He knows better. But sometimes you try to do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
And then you say, no, it's 10 other guys, because it's a couple of great protection, and he still forces it. So in all 5 of his interceptions are going to happen.
I'll tell you my impression is, do you remember last year, it seemed like after watching Rodgers for so long, push the ball down the field, always, believe in his arm and everything, Love was sort of following LaFleur's and taking all the check downs. So if it wasn't down there, down the field, check down. Good enough, 6-7 yards. That's pretty good. Then you're 2nd and 3, or you get a first
managing
down.
the game.
Right, and I think that's where he's got to get back to. In my opinion.
I agree
with that.
100%. 100%. I remember me and Steve Young used to talk all about this all the time. Even to this day when we talk, check downs are frustrating to defenses because we've all backed off. And yes, we want you to go to the check down, but it always keeps the chains moving.
Right.
We want you to take more chances so I can get more picks. I haven't seen a guy pick off a check down yet.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep the chains moving because sooner or later, we're going to start coming up, and there you go.
That's exactly right.
And running the ball helps too. If Josh Jacobs, who I think his touchdown was amazing when he was stopped and redirected and scored, I was so happy for him. But we got to give him an opportunity. We need to go back to moving it. And the same runs that they did with Malik. But do some of those runs, those misdirections, and then you can screen more. Holmgren used to screen teams 2 to 3 times per quarter. You didn't know what was going on. So I think
he devoted a huge amount of practice time to screens. That's why the Packers were so good at screens. You remember that?
Screen. It was frustrating. Double screen, tight end delay, wide open, that kind of stuff.
And the league, as LaFleur pointed out last week, the league is sort of turning that way. Screen passes are becoming a huge part of teams' offenses.
Especially if a team that blitzes a lot. Oh, my. If you blitz a lot, the one thing can hit you is a screen.
Okay, let's flip to the other side, which is defense. There's 2 ways you can look at this. So they're giving up yards, but if you look at the points aren't bad. Where do they stand as a whole defensively, do you think? Do you still believe in Hafley and his system? And then what do they have to do to get the pass rush going?
Well, here's the thing. The defense works because the takeaways shows that. This league is about taking the ball away. Bend, don't break defense is fine. I'm with that. You got to know when to be aggressive, and the guys got to, because you're playing, remember now, they had 2 rookies out there, 33 and 20. So you would think they would give up 500 yards. So now the coaches are like, okay, maybe we should just play 56 more in the base, and you got to stay out there. Maybe 55, who I'm a big fan of, Ingrid Barter, huge fan of his. Maybe him and Carl Brooks play a little bit more. And because you have a huge sample size now of when to be aggressive, when to just rush 4, and who's my best 4. And the rotation may change. But guys got to be okay with that because they're going to chip you all the time. They're not going to just let 52 and 90 just tee off. But when 91 gets a one-on-one with a tackle, you expect pressure.
Got to win it.
You got to win your one-on-one. The double teams, I mean, it is what it is. But I just wish it just seemed like to me the second half defenses, they turn it up a little bit. The first half's a little bit cautious, but if they run this defense, the second half they run at the beginning, and almost like Flores, hey man, they know you're coming, but you got to figure out who we're bringing. make it a little bit more confusing to quarterbacks.
If you were LaFleur and Robert Saleh is your best friend,
Yeah.
and he just got fired from the New York Jets, in
Yeah.
case you didn't hear that,
Yeah.
would you ask for his help, or would you say, you know what, I hired Hafley for a reason? You know, that would be showing a lot of, you know, not distrust, but it wouldn't be showing total confidence in him. Would you ask him, you know, to be a consultant or something like that, or would you just say, we'll see what happens after the season, Hafley, this is your show?
Zero possibility I would make that phone call. Because you basically be emasculating Jeff Hafley. Because if he's in that building, people like you are going to want to talk to him.
Right, right. Why is he here?
Yeah, consultant. Well, he doesn't run the defense I run. So.
Well, he kind of does. They work together in San Francisco.
I know, but this is my show, though.
Okay.
You know how it is.
Yeah, everybody has their own twist.
Yeah, I got my own twist on it. And what if he wants to do something different? So, nah. I wouldn't even, and not at all. Because to me, there'd be too many cooks in the kitchen, and the food would be spoiled.
Yeah.
And I think it sends a wrong message that to the defense, who they think they're doing great. Why do we need a consultant? Why?
It's too early for that. It's too early.
But you know that's what people are going to be saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
hey, you know, but now if it was open, yes. But and to me, he hasn't done that great of a job when he was a head coach with the Jets, just as a coordinator.
You had a pretty good defense. Certainly.
When you're the head coach, you got everything.
Yeah.
And maybe he's a better coordinator as the head coach.
I don't know. I don't, in my opinion, and I think this is what you're saying, is you can't, there's no reason to bail on Hafley. People get upset that there's yards being given up, but
he's leading the league in a lot of categories.
Really, he gave up 13 points against the Rams because Love gave him the ball on the 4-yard line after that interception.
Yes.
So, you know, I mean, for the most part, they did what they had to do. Now, I will say about playing those rookies, I'll give you 29 reasons why I would play those rookies, because number 29 is in the back end, making sure whatever mistakes are made are covered up.
Yes. And please stay tuned for X and O's, because this may be the most rewarding we've ever done.
Yeah, this is the most excited I've ever seen you about X's and O's.
I want to thank the Giants in closing. I want to thank the Giants for making them available. I'll send you some Leap vodka. Thank you for not signing him to a long-term extension, and you out there want to play games with the guy. But Gouda, no, come on, we got you, and made him the highest paid safety. And I think the last time the MVP was Lawrence Taylor of the entire league. Him and Sam Darnold and Jaden Daniels, the top 3 right now in my book, MVP after 5
games in, okay?
That's what we're saying, after 5 games.
Okay.
Okay, I mean,
you media guys always like to try to anoint someone right away. You know, 5 games in, we got to talk about the defensive player of the year. We got to talk about
I didn't say defensive player of the year, I said MVP.
MVP, right.
They'd be 1-4 without him.
5 games in. Hey, I'm not downplaying what he did.
Yes, you are.
I'm like, why is it even necessary to make that, have that discussion?
He could have had 6.
Yeah, he's got 7
Probably
picks in his last 6 regular season games. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
One more, and he sets the NFL record for most picks in a game.
I think he'll get
consecutive games.
For Packers, though, it's 10.
10 in a season.
In a season?
Yeah, he's already broken the most
in a row. Nice. Well, that was a good signing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that it was Reggie, but it's starting to look kind of close.
Woodson's signing was amazing.
Yeah, Woodson was a huge one.
I mean, there's 2 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, Woodson, they won a Super Bowl, so let's.
Yes.
Reggie, they won a Super Bowl.
He's still 24, 25. young guy. I'm just glad he's on my side.
Okay. And the last thing, as we always have to touch on, is the kicking. And Narveson did.
Anytime he can make 4 kicks, I'm happy.
You're okay. Okay.
Make all your extra points. He got to make the 30s and the 40s at a high clip into the 90s. You have to. Because when you got guys attempting kicks at 65, 58, kickers now, I mean, Justin Tucker's 200 years old. They won't let him retire in Baltimore because he's a make it. So
how about the guy in Dallas? It's like a tornado there, and he could still kick like whatever 50-some yard field goal. Yeah.
Yes, that's the
Pouring
thing.
Rain. That dude is amazing.
Cool from Atlanta made a 58 walk-off.
Oh.
He's on my fantasy team.
That was a beautiful
So
kick.
I was glad to see Narveson just make the kicks.
Yeah.
Just
You're right.
Just
try to get a streak going.
Yes. And he's active factors into my prediction, by the way.
Okay. And Packers play Arizona Cardinals. This is going to be an interesting game.
I'm a big
coming
fan
off a big win.
That's a big win for them, beating San Francisco. And San Francisco, because that's something we haven't been able to do, to beat Brock Purdy, San Francisco, in San Francisco. I'm a big fan of Kyler Murray.
Yeah, and here comes another guy like Anthony Richardson, like Jalen Hurts. And, who am I forgetting? Yeah, that's
you're talking about moving quarterbacks.
Moving quarterbacks, yeah. Jalen Hurts and Anthony Richardson. Yeah.
And the thing about that is he had a 50-yard touchdown. They went out and got Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, I spent time with Marvin Harrison at the Hall of Fame. That guy was an amazing receiver. His kid is huge. If you're playing the Big Ten, he played at Ohio State. There's some people had him the best wide receiver. He didn't get a lot of targets last week, but Connor, the running back, is very capable. And so it'll be a good test for you.
It will be a good test.
Yes.
I wouldn't put that down on the W automatically. You know?
Well,
I think they're going to have to.
Well, you do your blog your way. Let me do my prediction
all right.
my way.
All right.
Okay.
I guess it is your show, but
yeah. Well, partly. Packers win 31-28. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Now, the weather's supposed to be like 57 and possible rain, but these two offenses like to score, and these two defenses, there's opportunities.
Yeah.
So, but I'm hoping that, because a good walk-off winning kick for Narveson will get people off him for a while. If
Probably,
he can step up
for
and
at least
kick
a
it.
week.
Because the weather's about to change. You got to have a kicker for that, so. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check with X's and O's because we have a homage to Xavier McKinney, which you're going to want to watch. And then, of course, we break down the Jaden Reed catch, which you're going to want to watch also. And then you have some people you want to thank.
Yes, MilwaukeeWindowGuys.com. If you're looking for windows and doors, they're the very best. And from the end of the year, from now to the end of the year, they already have very low prices. They're going to give you an extra 20% off. Just use the keyword LEAP, L-E-A-P, L-E-A-P. Go to MilwaukeeWindowGuys.com. They'll beat any prices out there anywhere. And just tell them LeRoy Butler sent you. And again, the LeRoy Butler experience, my QR code, just take your phone, scan it, all the information is there. If you're a company that want to advertise using all the best technology, it's so much better. Of course, Pick and Save, you can get my Leap Vodka there. And the Leap 36 podcast with me and Gary Ellerson. I think we're up close to 100,000 downloads, so you can help us get to maybe 150,000. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe so you can read some of the best journalism. I love it. If you're on PackerNews.com, you got it. It's so cheap, even we can afford it.
Yeah.
But you got to get that.
And for just sort of a little breaking news, the live blog is going to be subscriber only for a couple weeks. We're going to try that out and see how that works. So if you're not
Is it a different
subscriber,
subscription or the same?
What's that?
Is it a different subscription or the same one?
Nope, same one. It's all included in your regular subscription.
Oh, very nice.
But we're going to try that out. So if you can't get on, you're going to know that it's because you need to be a subscriber, and I'll let you know how long we're going to do that.
Yeah.
But it's a trial, and we hope that it does get us more subscriptions.
I think people like that. We got a lot of subscriptions. You feel like a partner, not a customer. I'm a member when you subscribe.
I do. So, and I find subscribers are really invested into their comments and everything like that. So
and it's
anyway,
and it's cheap.
Be sure you check on X's and O's. We'll see you next week.
Bye.